The moment you click on this video, I want you to picture this: a quiet neighborhood, a porch lined with brown delivery boxes, and a single, unstoppable thief who believes every package within a 5-house radius somehow belongs to her. Before we get into it, drop your country in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. Now, here's how everything spiraled the day I let the bees handle the problem. The trouble started the week I moved into Cedar Loop, a small community that operated under an HOA run by a woman everyone politely called Karen. She walked the block each morning with the posture of someone surveying her empire. The rules weren't just strict, they were constantly shifting, handwritten, and based entirely on her mood. I noticed early on that packages disappeared often on my street, usually the day they were delivered. At first, I assumed porch pirates were the issue. It wasn't until I caught a glimpse of Karen walking past my yard with a stack of boxes that I began paying attention. My own packages vanished 3 times in the first month. The HOA offered no help, no sympathy, and definitely no accountability. When I brought it up, Karen insisted porch theft was a known danger and that I should step up my security. She said it with the confidence of someone who had no idea she was describing herself. Things escalated when the missing packages became expensive. Tools I needed for my workshop, camera equipment, even a small set of custom beeswax molds for my beekeeping hobby. Everything disappeared the moment the delivery truck left. The final straw came when a replacement phone vanished before I even made it home from work. I installed cameras across the porch and driveway, expecting to catch a stranger. What I found instead was Karen strolling up my sidewalk, lifting my packages as casually as someone picking flowers, and carrying them straight to her car. She didn't hide her face, she didn't move quickly, she behaved like she owned everything she touched. I took the evidence to the HOA board. The board shrugged. They said Karen handled community safety and package inspection. When I asked what that meant, they gave me nothing beyond a vague claim that she sometimes held items for security. My property was being stolen in daylight and no one cared, so I stopped talking and started planning. One thing the HOA didn't know was that I kept bees. Dozens of healthy hives lined the back of my yard, tucked behind a fence where the bees had all the room they needed. They were calm, hardworking, and ready for winter. Beekeeping gave me peace, and for weeks I had avoided using them in my revenge, but Karen kept raising the stakes. The plan formed when I realized she always grabbed my packages without checking the labels. She never looked, never questioned, never hesitated. So I prepared one box, a decoy. Inside it, I placed a simple frame from one of my hives. Not a dangerous one, just a full, active honeycomb with a cluster of bees settled on it. I created a breathable, vented package that kept them calm as long as no one shook them. Then, I left it on the porch. The next morning, I pretended to drive to work. Then I circled back, parked down the street, and waited. Karen appeared, like she always did, with that sharp stride and entitlement that carried her around like a crown. She walked straight toward my porch, glanced at the box, and took it. She didn't notice the small vents on the sides. She didn't feel the faint buzzing inside. She didn't question why the box was a little warm. She carried it to her driveway, tucked it under her arm, and marched into her garage. From where I stood, I saw what happened. The moment she set the box down, she shook it. Maybe she was excited, maybe she was annoyed, maybe she simply assumed it was something valuable she'd claim as HOA property. Whatever the reason, that shake woke the bees instantly. She tore the box open without caution. When the lid popped up, the bees rose as one, blooming out of the box like a quiet, golden storm. They didn't attack, they reacted to the sudden light, the sudden movement, the sudden shouting she erupted into. They swarmed around her in a frantic halo, confused but harmless unless provoked. She sprinted outside, waving her arms, tripping over her mailbox, falling into her own hedge. Neighbors stepped out to see the commotion. Most of them had experienced her behavior in one form or another. Some raised their phones. Others simply watched with the patience of people who had been waiting for karma. Nothing dangerous happened. The bees eventually drifted away and settled on nearby flowers. Karen's screaming, however, echoed across the entire street. She stormed into the HOA office, covered in leaves and grass, demanding that they fine me, jail me, exile me, something dramatic to soothe her ego. But the HOA board refused to get involved, not after the video footage leaked. Someone had recorded her stealing the package. Someone had posted it. Someone had shown clips from previous thefts. Neighbors began sharing their own stories. Packages that had vanished months ago suddenly made sense. The comments spread fast, not just online, but through the town. Real police arrived the next day. Not for me, but for her. The bee incident wasn't a crime, but package theft was, trespassing was, opening property that didn't belong to her was. She attempted to throw the HOA board under the bus. The board denied everything. They wanted distance, not responsibility. Karen faced charges, small ones, but enough to rewrite her reputation across Cedar Loop. The HOA quietly removed her from her security position. She now walks the neighborhood differently, slower, quieter, looking over her shoulder like someone hearing bees in the distance. My packages stop disappearing. Deliveries arrive untouched. Neighbors thank me with a knowing smile, and every now and then I leave out a jar of honey with a note for the mail carrier. As for Karen, she's learned not to open boxes that don't belong to her. And that's how the bees handled it. Remember to let me know which country you're watching from, and make sure you like and subscribe for more stories.